I've been seeing the stark, naked, terrifying, horrifying, angering, tragic side of human beings making this film. And as I learned for 4 years through the pandemic or so, it fucking guts me. It guts me. It wrenches my psyche to the point of crying a lot lately. Just about how stupid, evil, manipulative, selfish, and egotistical human beings are. And then I take myself out of the filmmaker mode. I take myself out of just that perspective on reality, and I look about the rest of reality, and what I see, that I talked about in a Pavalar, whatever they call it, with a bunch of good friends I've known for over 20 years tonight, is that people my age in the late, say, 30s into 50 are seeing the destruction of paradigms or social, cultural, political structures that they knew of for most of their life. And there's a bunch of us in the millions that are seeing things destroyed in ways that we never saw be possible, and that science fiction movies actually were warning about us for the last 20 years. But the bottom line is, right now, leaders, good and bad, are falling like hotcakes, as the Mayor Adams fell today, federal indictment by the FBI, whatever. So we have this hacking, social media exploitation of all information intel going up to 30 years ago, like with Kevin Hart being hacked to have like some tweet come out that he made like 10 years before he was about to do the Oscars years ago, and he never even know where it came from. He doesn't know where someone found this quote he made on Twitter 10 years before he was about to host the Oscars. But there's people out there to get people. They're disruptors, they're WikiLeaks, they're fucking Julian Assange, whoever the fuck they are, good and bad. They are making good leaders and bad leaders fall overnight. So we have this structure collapsing in terms of political leaders, and then we have the lunatics. The fascists, and the very, very evil science fiction cartoonish-like billionaires now that are doing exactly what we read about in science fiction novels and saw in film and TV, for the last 30 years of the 20th century. And these people now become real. There's no longer a cartoon, a comic book, a graphic novel, a Grant Morrison and Alan, whatever the fuck. More. These Ozymandias-like characters in Watchmen now are real. And they do not care if we live or die. They profited, Google, Apple, Amazon, the mega banks, the mega corporate, profited off the death of thousands and the shutdown of this world during the pandemic. And they are now letting AI, which we have all been terrified of for 20 years since we all saw the Terminator films, they're letting that take control of us subliminally, subconsciously, and sneakily in the fucking updates of Apple and Samsung and our droids and social media and the algorithms, like Bo Burnham talks about in this recent thing I saw, in which the colonization of our attention spans and our psyche is now just as important as the colonization of what's left in an endangered planet. And so these billionaires now have a firm grip of us through all these tentacles of all these apps and all these social medias and these corporations. And these billionaires do not fucking care if we live or die. We're complete sheep to them. Sheep in every way. And so now, where they didn't care if we died by this way or that way, a vaccine or a fucking virus or whatever, now they don't care if AI kills us all. They don't care if AI is building an engine like the Matrix to fucking have more metadata, to understand human beings, to eventually override the systems and the human element of it all, so that the AI can eventually destroy the world. The billionaires don't give a fuck about that. They don't care if the world dies or human beings die, because they'll be fucking free of this world with the advancement of technologies and NASA and colonization of Mars. These select few, Elon Musk to the Trumps to the Jeffrey Bezos, whether you think this is funny or not, it is the truth that in the next 20 years or so, they will leave this planet in some way or another, and the colonization will begin. And it won't be a colonization that will allow millions to go to the moon or Mars. It'll just be a colonization that a select 10 or 15 people will have that perfect moon-Mars experience or something akin to that while this world dies. And it's very drastic and tragic to say these things, and most people don't want to look at this, which is why, as during the fucking pandemic, with the Karens wanting haircuts and idiots not wearing masks, and my fucking son has to go to school, and my daughter needs to have her soccer game, and all this fucking heinous, narcissistic, egotistical, mainly suburban, typical 9-to-5ers in this country, that what they, communicated and protested these heinous, stupid, narcissistic things in the face of grave danger and consequences, that same heinous, selfish stupidity will be widespread come the next apocalyptic event. The next evolution, if it's not another pandemic or virus attack, if it's a tsunami that wipes out finally one of these major port cities on the eastern and western seaboard, then thus the same fucking stupidity will be just as widespread. It will be, I couldn't get my DoorDash when New York City sank. I couldn't get my fucking kids to the fucking goddamn football player. It was the playoffs, and this tsunami just destroyed the entire Weehawken Stadium. It was so inconvenient to me. It'll be that fucking stupid across the board, and the problem is, like in the pandemic, stupid is as stupid does, and stupid people have no way to be conscious of the bigger picture outside of their own existence. And so if they were to look at the existence of what is really happening, the gravity, we need to work together, this is that bad, it is a widespread collective apocalyptic event like the pandemic was, or that's happened on and off for centuries. Most of the stupid people in this world or country, if they really looked at how bad it is, it would be devastating to them. It would destroy them. And it's like a lot of people who shield themselves from the reality of grief and post-traumatic stress disorder and how it's changed them or mutated them or ruined them. A lot of people don't want to look in the mirror about how bad it is for themselves, what they're doing to themselves or others. Like, it's too devastating. And I think that's what I'm seeing this week. Trying to make a movie is pretty petty and meaningless, really, to the bigger picture of the universe. So I'm hoping that this movie could at least make people laugh, as it did last year. And I think the death of comedy that we're seeing in all forms of entertainment is, again, the work of these corporations and these billionaires catering to politics on both sides of the coin, in which joking and laughing is becoming extinct, and they don't want people to laugh. They want people to live in fear and agony. They want people to be terrified, to keep the consumer cycle going so that they keep buying Amazon and Google and mail order delivery that's clogging our highways. They want that fear that something bad could happen again, so that they keep purchasing, that they build up the house more, and then they watch things that are reflections of their fears and terrors, which is why horror movies right now is just an epic genre right now, because we are living day to day in a cycle of fear, terror, and trauma. It's going on every day. Fear, terror, trauma, and anger. It is everywhere in our cities, in our suburbs, in every race, and every culture. It is fear, terror, trauma, every day, and that is why horror is huge now. And they don't want us to laugh. They don't want anyone to be offended, because that hurts the fucking Wall Street. It hurts the stock market, and you don't want to lose anything. And as people are telling me that this film production, like why people don't want to be in my movie or let me film somewhere, is risk averse. Risk averse is the new name of the game in most industries, especially at the top of the people, the corporations that control our connective tissue as human beings on emotional, social, risk averse. They don't want anyone to get offended, because that's a fucking consumer we lose. A studio doesn't want any audience member offended by a joke, because that's a consumer they fucking lose. That's a streaming subscription they lose. And so if they know, they just can put on horror, drama for the suburb couples, and whatever the hell reality show, and that's what will keep things risk averse, not risking anything. And it then continues with what's happening, which is our entertainment is reflexive of the horror of our lives, and that there's no longer anything of a release, a catharsis to help with us, which is why people are killing more, active shootings are up, everyone's attacking people in these major cities, and then our law enforcement are lying and gaslighting us on what's really happening. And then from there's a whole new world of that nothing's real, it's all the metaverse, it's all stimulation, and because there's so much misinformation cyclical from our authorities, our powers that be, our police departments, our federal agencies, and this fucking thing, the social media, that we now have a world in which We're all miserable. We're all terrified. We're all angry. There's no way to laugh about it all. We're terrified of laughing with each other, and we no longer believe what's true or right. So we are clinging to our consumeristic comforts and whatever food or DoorDash and bullshit, narcissistic, egotistical things. Because again, if we were all to really come out of our shells and admit and cry that we all lost something in the last couple of years, and we all admit how bad it really is right now, it would be devastating to a great part of this population. And it's already happening, because that's why there are rioting and there are all these attacks going on around this global thing. Because people are out there are like Rage Against Machine says, hungry people don't stay hungry for long. That there's a lot of people that are rising up in crimes and whatever because they are at the bottom of the pile in a demographic that exists for centuries in this world of the poor, the poor that are made by the economics, the impoverished and homeless that are created by corporations cutting jobs to be more AI, more robotic generated. And so that's what we're having now. And that's why it's all more terrifying than any movie I can make. And I think we need to laugh. And I don't know if it's ever going to get better, so you might as well enjoy it all. But I think we need to start realizing that, you know, we're all stuck in this together. And I don't think most people think that way. And I don't know. I don't see it all coming together in a happy thing where we'll hold hands and sing "We Are the World," you know. So I guess that's it. Follow your dreams, live your dreams, try to be nice to each other. It's hard for me, it's hard for everyone, but I'm just seeing this devastating horror of the human psyche and human existence lately that is just, I don't know. It's 1 minute you should live it up and have fun, but then I'm seeing so much of a blatant me, selfishness, narcissism, and egotism in all walks of life on this planet, and it's just... It's pretty fucking terrifying. It's terrifying to me, and it makes it even harder to make a movie when people no longer care about art or creativity except money, because of the fears being piped in every day from this form of connection that is a counterfeit form of connecting with each other that turns us all into algorithms and jump screens and TikTok moments and horse shit. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts today. Good luck. Bye.